Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Review. No beer review today, but I am enjoying a nice beer that the guys at Moski Homebrew sent. We did a little trade. I'm going to review the other one. We did two beers each. And but this is pretty good. It's Indiana City Brewing Company, Too Many Eyes. And the can art, it's pretty darn cool. I guess once a month this brewery has artists come and then they like set a timer. Every 10 minutes you slide the piece of paper to the next person and then they continue the drawing. Then 10 minutes later you slide it. So a bunch of different artists have worked on it, and Too Many Eyes is pretty appropriate. Makes me think of Blinky from The Simpsons, the yellow fish with three eyes. This is a double dry hopped IPA, 7% ABV, Mosaic, Eureka, and Idaho 7. It's quite nice, good level of bitterness, not too much like astringency, some nice fruit flavors. I'm actually getting a decent amount of grapefruit, but I think that's partly because of the bitterness in it. But really good beer. All right, anyway, what we're doing, like I said, not a beer review, but Han Yolo tagged me in a beer review or in a beer video, and he had got at me a little bit before. He's like, just kind of want to break up the routine of doing reviews. He does. If you don't watch him, you should. I'll make sure at the end of the video I'll put up a link to his video about this. He does sneaker videos and then beer review videos. And he's real cool, super nice. I was really proud of myself when I came up with my sign off and rhymed subscribe with imbibe. And a pretty positive guy. And I love the way he signs off is just such an awesome, positive message. So big fan of his. He's on Instagram and all that too. We follow each other. So anyway, what he did is he just went through some of his favorite beers of these different styles. You don't have to do every style, obviously, and he said that. So I do have a piece of paper. I wrote down some styles of beer and then my favorite one. Um, and it's kind of, and I'll tag some people at the end. He tagged myself, Manic Glass Can Bottle Beer Reviews, and the Beardiful. And I'm not going to tag everyone because that way people have an opportunity to tag other people. So I'm going to tag four people in my video. But excuse me. So in terms of like why I picked them as my favorite beer, I mean obviously taste and flavor is part of it. Maybe having experiences that were positive with these beers, whether like hanging out with good friends, or like a road trip, or like remembering the first time I had it. So just like almost like a nostalgia effect. Typically for these styles beers, I would gladly drink again. So some of these will be pretty obvious if you watch my channel a lot. Some of these might be kind of boring. Some of these might be kind of like, oh, really? So let's get into it. Let me get another swig of the beer. And for the people I tag, feel free to do it a similar way. Just maybe pick however many styles you want to talk about and go from there. All right. So just IPA. And probably not surprising that I haven't reviewed on this channel. That is surprising. Maybe I'll do it for like the 500th review or something. But I think it was Flower Power, either the first IPA I ever liked or one of the first, like definitely the first I remember. Back in the day, you could get, in terms of IPAs around here, Flower Power, 60 Minute, and those are the only ones I really remember easily being able to get. And I do like 60 Minute, 90 ml, that stuff quite a bit. But Flower Power IPA, that's my pick. New England style IPA. Heady Topper, probably the first I had. I remember loving it. I remember my friend Chelsea was just like, "Yeah, my brother lives by this brewery. We like this beer a lot here." And I'm like, "Wait a second. This was years ago." I'm like, "Wait, this beer's I've heard of this beer." Looked at it, I'm like, "This is like the best beer in the world according to people." Heady Topper. Then I had Focal. I was like, I like Focal Banger better than Heady. So initially I was gonna say Focal Banger. But then I remember yesterday I was texting with my buddy Dusty, who sent me the Beer to Iris beers, and he was drinking a green. And I'm like, green's probably my favorite treehouse beer. And I'm like, you know what? Green might be my favorite New England IPA. So I'll mention the Heady and the Focal, but I'm probably going green's my favorite. Pale Ale. Boring pick. Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale. It's the grandfather, it's the granddaddy, it's the standard. That beer still owns. I love that beer. If I go to a crappy bar with people and they have a dirty tablet line that has Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, I'm okay. And I still love that beer to this day. And if I see it, I do get excited. In terms of, I did Pilsner. He did Pilsner, and it's a style that neither one of us, are like blown away by. But this one, I don't know the name of it. I was in Switzerland with some friends, and some local towns Pilsner was really good. We had an awesome day sledding in the Alps, which is like, I don't know if that's either sounds cool or pretentious, but it was just we got snowed in at our hotel and it sucked. And then they're like, well, we have these snow lifts. You guys can we can turn them on. You guys can go up and sled, and we'll cook food for you at the top. And I had like some fondue and just had a blast sledding. And then that evening, walked to a different hotel up even more up the mountain. We couldn't get down, but we could go up a little bit. And they had it, and they're just like, yeah, this is our local Pilsner. And I had it, and it was probably the most generic Pilsner, but just like all encompassing of the day was awesome. Part of this, too, I should have said, was for Han Yolo, was like just getting to know people a bit better. So that's why I'm kind of giving maybe some stories. Stout. I think I had the same pick as him. He picked even more Jesus. And I mean, just in terms of just a stout, not Russian or milk or whatever, just like the word stout. No barrel aging, just like for me, that's awesome. Um, that probably changes. But when I heard him say that, I'm like, you know what? That might be my favorite stout. But ask me tomorrow. Adjunct, like, so I had the Trillium Night and Day the other day that has coffee in it. That's the best coffee stout I've ever had. So that's my pick for like one with an adjunct. And now I'm thinking, does Even More Jesus have any adjuncts? I don't remember if it has like cocoa nibs or something. If it does, correct me in the comments. Barrel aged stout, surprise probably to no one. I'm gonna pick Bourbon County, the OG. Um, I still love that beer every year. I think it still delivers. I was fortunate that 2015 I did not get infected ones. So there's other ones I mean, Black Tuesday I love. So Happens It's Tuesday I love. Um, I don't know how I could keep going. Probably barrel aged stouts that I love, and that don't have adjuncts. That's my favorite. In terms of adjuncts, super local. Northbury and Endicott, New York, my hometown. This was one of my top 5 beers, 2016, before I started doing beer reviews. Uh, Mega Mean. It had like peppers and stuff, and it was just like the right level of heat and the taste and the barrel, everything. So Mega Mean. I hope they do that again. It was so awesome. Barley wine. If we're going no adjuncts in it, probably Bigfoot. Again, Sierra Nevada, just you can kind of tell. Again, not to like get off my lawn, old man thing of craft beer, but like been drinking it for over a decade, and are there better barley wines on the market? Maybe, but like it has a special place in my heart. I mean, I could buy it. It was probably one of the first barley wines I ever had. Um, and honestly, I probably like English style barley wines better than the hoppy version of Bigfoot. But I love Bigfoot. And if you're doing adjunct, also kind of old school. Dogfish Head's old school. I love that beer, but it has like figs and stuff in it. But yeah, I love that barley wine. Barrel aged barley wine. This might be surprising. I was just talking to my friend Gabe the other day, and he had one. And I went back and forth. I had Trogs, was it the Mouflon, High Mouflon, whatever it's called. That one I thought was really good. I mean, typically, the Bourbon County barrel aged barley wines are awesome. Sibling Maker from Framing Hammer, or the Framing Hammer from Jack's Abbey, which I got a review. I have one. I thought it was actually quite good. And there's I've had really amazing ones. I've had even like I think that style is so awesome that it'd have to be probably pretty bad for me not to at least like the beer. Like you'd have to really screw that up for me not to be like, oh yeah, I drink this. But Brooklyn's Hand and Seal. I love that. I have at least one. I gotta check and see if I have a second one. But I remember being blown away and loving that beer. So barrel aged barley wine. I'm going Hand and Seal by Brooklyn. And I'm going to end on one of my favorite beers from last year. If I'm doing fruited beers, there's a lot of fruited beers I like, but I'm going New Glarus Strawberry Rhubarb. And again, if you watch my channel, probably not very surprising to you. Some of these picks maybe seem out of left field. Some of these might seem boring, classics, but you know what? No hype beer review. Thanks again, Han Yolo, for doing this. This is a cool idea. Hope a lot of the beer channel people get in on it. So here's the 4 people I'm tagging, and I already talked to 3 of them. I just realized I didn't talk to the first one I wrote down, and I forgot to text him, but I'm sure he'll want to do it. Tyler F. I'm not going to try to bastardize your last name. Love Tyler. We talk a lot. Did I go too long without touching this? And it's still recording, and I'm gonna keep this in. So Tyler F, definitely, man, try to get at this. I know you're busy right now, but you know you're awesome. Brad Allison from 31st Brewing, you and Jess would be cool to do this. I'm sure you guys have some different choices based on your guys' reviews. Till Beer Do Us Part, also both of you guys. If you have joint ones, cool. But if you guys do like battling ones for different styles, that'd be awesome. And then the dudes at Nerdsense. I don't know if I know this is today's Saturday. I'm recording this. They typically record on Fridays, so it might be a while till they can get to it, or maybe Sean will do it separate or whatever. But those are the 4 people. So make sure you guys film them, tag some other people. Let's get this going. And again, check out Yolo. I'm gonna put his link up here. I'll put these guys down in the description. As always, check me out on Instagram, Untapped. No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.